and was told like it's important, like as a feminist, it's important to acknowledge the very real differences between males and females. And it's like, you know, with the prison thing, like part of the huge issue there is like women are at a very specific risk because we can become pregnant, and that's such a huge thing to happen. And I'm going to jump around. I warned you I'm ADHD, but
yeah, no, it's happening. Girls are getting knocked up in prison all the time. It's disgusting.
I saw 2 women were impregnated by the same inmate, and like people were rationalizing, being like, oh, well, it was consensual. And it's like, you can't really fully be consensual in that environment. And then think about this child who's going to be ripped out of its mother's arms at birth and separated. This has a ripple effect of many lives ruined. So these choices that seem innocuous, and like my general view used to be like, whether it's sports or prisons or whatever, I was like, the trans population is so small that it just doesn't even matter, was kind of like my MO. And then now we see the rates of the trans population growing and spiking for a multitude of reasons, you know, which I'm actually kind of curious if you have any theories on why that might be.
Yeah, it's 100% this device right here. So yeah, social contagion. I get in arguments about that all the time.
People get really triggered by that term, I know.
Yeah, it's it just, yeah, what is it? I think the latest number was it's gone down a little, 300% increase worldwide in trans identified youth. Well, the reason we didn't identify as trans when we were youth is because we just didn't have the internet. We didn't know all that was out there. So I can't tell you how many what is it, Twitter or TikToks I read that say, you know, I thought something was wrong, and then I went online and I found a bunch of people who feel like me, and now I guess I'm trans. It's like, no, that doesn't make you trans. Like,
especially with young women. And that also concerns me because as a woman, there's already like incentives to not want to be a woman. So if you see like a young girl is going through puberty and have, you know, and maybe they're gay or they have autism and all these other comorbidities, it seems like they settle in on the trans thing because it's like, all right, here's a set path, I transition and then I will be okay. And like we have all these people feeding into that narrative and actively shutting down anyone who pushes against that narrative. And it's just kind of ballooned, like with the general rates of like women transitioning. And then that gets into the whole like one of the things I wanted to talk to you about the sports was because I just don't even know where I draw the line, because no option feels right to me. It doesn't feel right to like not let trans women play with women. That's my like empathy being hacked or whatever, but
that's your woman.
No, I know. There's no feel good option here is what I'm trying to get at.